messy buns up in our hair. We're not bothered if you stare. We're dancing in our underwear.
Howdy, foxy fuckers, and homos, heathens, fellow sick folk, and new listeners to the podcast. I'm Flame Fox, and I'm here with our first episode of Tips for Tips. This is the short mini episodes that come the Tuesday following full episodes, where I give y'all just a little short, I don't want to call it a lecture, but just some tips, advice if you are starting, wanting to start drag and or burlesque, or performing, whatever it is that you would like to do. These are just little snippets of information to try and help you get started on your journey. I apologize, I did not release one of these for the last episode. I've been really struggling with recovering from gallbladder surgery, so I'm doing the best that I can with what I've got. Today, if you're watching, I am recording the episode as Johnny Bravo. I just recorded a series that I'm doing on TikTok of low spoon costumes, and so today was Johnny Bravo. Today, our first Tips for Tips episode, I wanted to talk about your name and the expectations you have with starting drag. So that's where I want to start right now, is talking about setting up your expectations and your goals. I highly recommend getting a journal. I like going to the thrift store and finding old journals and notebooks and stuff. Those can be fun. Five Below has some cheap ones as well. Mine, I don't have it in here, but mine is a little orange journal that has a dinosaur on the front. So that's my drag journal. And what I want you to do, if you don't want to actually write it down, that's totally fine too. But what I want you to do is think about first of all, think about your why. Why do you want to start drag? What is your main purpose for starting drag? For me, it began as gender exploration, trying to present more masc and wanting to explore that through performance. And it morphed into eventually me performing with my mobility aids and proudly showing off my body accessories, my central line and G-tube, things like that, and wanting to be a representation for my audience. And so that's where I want you to start. I want you to figure out, what's your why. Do you want to start drag because you think it's fun? Are you is your special interest makeup and you really want to practice that and see what kind of cool things you can come up with, what kind of fun characters you can do? Any reason that you have for starting performing, starting drag is completely valid. But it is important for you to know what it is, so that when you are building your routines, you are keeping to that why and including it in your performance. That is honestly one of the best ways you're going to connect with your audience, is knowing what your reasoning is And keeping that in the heart of every performance is going to make your passion louder. It's going to be seen from the stage. People are going to be able to see the joy that you exude through your art. And yeah, it just leads to better performance, and better performing leads to more bookings. So that the first step is defining your why. Then I want you to get real about what you have to give to drag. I'm using drag as the umbrella term for whatever performance you are choosing to do. The title of this is obviously Drag and Burlesque Diaries, but in my interviews, I'm talking to poets, I'm talking to dancers, musicians, circus artists, aerial, whatever. Whatever your art is totally valid and welcome, and you belong here. I lost my train of thought. Oh, so it is important for any performing that you are doing to decide what you have to give to it, because what you give to your art is what you're going to get out of it. So if you only have a little bit to give at a time, that's totally valid, but it's likely that the bookings that you're going to get are going to be fewer, and whatnot. The more, and that's true for anything that you do in life, honestly. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. So I want you to just be real about the time that you have to dedicate to it, the energy, your spoon. What do you have to put into it? You can sit and even decide, hey, I want to spend 5 hours a week dedicated to my craft. That's a great start, honestly. You can do a lot in 5 hours. You can work on costuming, rhinestoning. You can spend an hour practicing lip syncing music. You can spend an hour working on social media and building your fan base, quote unquote, followers, whatever. But yeah, it's important that you be honest with yourself about what you have to put into it. And I think you're going to get more out of it when you actually sit down and plan to put effort into it, if that makes sense. I know when I just spur of the moment decide to do a random show and I'm just kind of like coming up with it off the top of my head, throwing it together. Sure, I can do a decent performance, but it's not nearly as impactful as the performances I do where I'm spending weeks on the rhinestoning, I'm sewing costuming, I'm putting a lot of effort into it. My soul is going to be more into that performance, and the audience is going to be able to tell. So that is the second tip for this episode. Just being real about what you have to give. And then after you do all that, you're ready to come up with your name. First of all, your name can change at any point in time. While it is more challenging to change later, after you've built your following and stuff, there's no reason why you can't change your stage name if that name no longer fits. I started doing burlesque as Scarlet Frenzy, and then as I got older, I was much less frenzied. I was realizing that I was older, slower, not as chaotic in my performing anymore. So that frenzy name didn't really fit with me anymore. And so I changed my last name to Selkie to reflect my Scottish heritage. And that honestly didn't last long before I got into drag and just dropped it completely. But drag is the same. I started as I've always been Flame Fox, but initially I spelled my name like the Phoenix from Harry Potter. And it didn't take me long to be like, I don't want anything to do with that franchise. So I spell it Foxxe now. That was at the beginning, very, very, very beginning of my drag career, so it was not challenging at all to change that spelling. I hadn't really put it out there anyway, so it was pretty easy. What you do need to do when you are thinking about your stage name is research and make sure nobody else has that name. Because the last thing that you want to do is pick a name that somebody else already has spent years building and step on toes. And not only does that cause issues, cause potential drama, hurt the feelings of somebody who's been here longer than you, and putting in the effort and the time to build their persona and build their following. People know who they are. That's also going to be challenging for you because you are going to try and get bookings, and people are going to be confused about who they're booking. They're going to think they're booking this other person because you've chosen a name that's the same or very similar. And it's honestly, it only causes problems. So you need to make sure that your name is unique enough that there will be no confusion about who you are. People can easily find you. That's another thing, is in your spelling of your name. Make sure that it is easy enough to remember, because the last thing that you want is to be telling people what your stage name is and nobody can find you because nobody knows how to spell it, or they keep forgetting that you switch these two letters, or whatever. You want to make it as easy as humanly possible for people to find you and book you and follow you and whatever. So the first way that you're going to research and make sure that your name is truly unique, look on all the social media. You can put in just your name that you're wanting, see who all has it, whatever. Add words to it. Add so and so burlesque. Add John Doe drag. Add whatever. Go through all of them, even, because it's even possible that the drag name that you're choosing is taken by somebody who's doing burlesque. So you're going to want to look as deeply as you can, just to double, triple, quadruple check and make sure that the name that you are choosing is truly unique to you. The next thing that you're going to want to do is go online and look up. I'm not sure how updated it is currently, but there is a drag king name registry. On Facebook, there's a group, I believe it's called Drag Kings Unite. Let me check real quick. Drag Kings Unite is a group on Facebook. You can go in that group and search for your name. You can also go in that group and search for the Drag King Name Registry. They have it linked in there, so that's a good place to start for that. There's also a burlesque name registry. Again, I don't know how updated these two sites are, but it is a good starting point for you to be researching your name. And I think that's all I have for you today in this first episode of Tips for Tips. Please, please, please reach out to me if you have any questions. I'd love to answer specific questions in these Tips for Tips episodes. And if you have any suggestions for episodes or anything like that, feel free to reach out to the podcast. It's DN, the letter N, B, Diaries Pod, Pod, at gmail.com. I'll definitely link all of our information in the show notes for sure. But reach out if you have any questions, suggestions, anything like that. If you want to be on the podcast, also email me and we'll get that set up. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see y'all next month. Okay, love you, bye.